Hey guys, welcome back to another Flesh and Blood video. This video is proudly brought to you by the House of Cards, the official sponsor of my stream. Be sure to check out the link in the description below for all of your Flesh and Blood needs. Although Illusionist and Guardian have been a long-time staple of the metagame, Enigma is very new to our CC metagame, and I'm curious to see how she deals with Victor. Victor does have some upside in this matchup because all of the auras that you get to attack with as Enigma still count as weapons, so cards like Test of Strength and Trounce still clash, giving Victor a lot of value. The biggest upside for Enigma is the fact that while you're playing offense, you're adding auras to the board that also have ward, so you're playing offense and defense. Just a quick disclaimer, guys, when I recorded this video, a lot of the new cards that got spoiled for Illusionist in the last 48 hours were not coded yet, so I'm not playing a lot of them. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoyed the match. Okay, we're playing against Victor. Ooh, they open Crown of Dominion. I kind of like that. I won't lie. That's kind of interesting. The fact that they're opening Crown of Dominion is actually like kind of neat. Let's see. Not really like a great anything we can do here. I mean, I guess we can put this into play and play Shimmers. Doesn't seem bad because we get our action point back and then we get to play Shimmers. So if they want to throw the Pulverize at us, we're forcing them to kind of make that decision here, which I don't hate. The Astral Etchings is not looking very solid here. So blocking 14, this is probably just Crown, right? Like if we block 3, 6, 8, 9, we take 5 and we try to go from there. Okay. So we get to play Waxing Specter on our turn, give it an additional counter because of Shimmers and come in for 1, which is perfectly fine. The -4 is kind of obnoxious, but not the end of the world. And then hopefully this isn't a pummel, but you know, I mean, if it is, it is. There's not much I can do about it. I think I just want to block 8. We can put the Sink Below on the bottom and block 8 and then try to go Tunic, Mage Master, Shimmers, and Haze Bending. And if they do have a pummel, we'll discard the Haze Bending and put a... Well, we'll discard the Shimmers, I guess, and put the Haze Bending into play. So what, we take 1 there because of the ward that we had? I guess we could have flipped that up in response, right? Guess it would have been fine. I don't know. We're just going to play the Haze Bending and pass here. We're looking to try and set up a big turn. The Haze Shelter looks pretty solid. I would like to see the Haze Shelter. This is actually sweet. I really hope they're attacking us because we get to block with the Command and Conquer. And then on our turn, put the Haze Shelter into play and then play Haze Bending. Actually, is it better to play Haze Shelter, pitching the Haze Bending into Arsenal the Unmovable? I actually think that's a better play because the Unmovable is a really solid Arsenal target, and we get to attack for 4. I'm sorry, we get to attack for 5. They're probably going to win the old clash here. And then we Arsenal the Unmovable. Let's block 6. They know we have the Command and Conquer on top, so this is just like a major W for us here. And we can play Waxing Specter, attack for 5 because of the Shimmers, and then use Tunic to attack for 5 more because we pitched a blue. So we're applying quite a bit of pressure here, trying to really put our opponent on the back foot. I guess we can just like use standing order effectively here. I don't hate that. And then the Grindstone's gonna kill Shimmers. I mean, this is great for us. That is like such a W play for us. So that means we get to attack for 5 go again. Them not having the pummel there was very good for us. I mean, them giving us the Civic Steps there, I don't think really matters too much. And then the Spectral Shield is free, and it's only for 1 though. So that's okay. And then we're just going to Arsenal the Unmovable. So let's block with Brothers in Arms. We'll pitch the Rising Sun, Setting Moon. We'll let the Spectral Shield eat this. So this is going to be for 10 overpower, which means we can block 4 and 6. Lose the Haze Shelter here. I mean, that seems okay, right? I could alternatively block 3, flip this over. No, I don't think that's correct. I think we're just supposed to flash in the Unmovable here, pitching the Last Ditch Effort. And then the Haze Shelter blocks 4, and we make a Spectral Shield. And then on our turn, we get to attack for 5. 5 go again. We're just kind of playing Protect the Waxing Specter right now, which it seems to be working pretty well for us. This is a pretty good hand to block with. This hand blocks pretty effectively, so we get to pitch the Haze Bending to play the Haze Shelter, which now blocks for 4. And then I get to use Fate Foreseen. We'll put that one on the bottom. Not really interested in seeing that one right now. And then we'll lose the Haze Shelter, making a new Spectral Shield. We could, so we can use the Tunic to come in for 5 go again here. We're really, like, don't get me wrong, this game could turn negative in a very quick way for us, but I think this is going pretty well for us, all things considered right now. We have our opponent like kind of on the back foot where they're blocking every turn, and we're arsenaling a good sink below here. Man, like this deck just blocks so well against things that go tall. I'm just like standing orders, Brothers in Arms, like just it feels really good. I also think this is a matchup that will feel pretty good for us for the most part. Let's go ahead and put this ink below on the bottom and block 5. Seems like a pretty efficient block for us here. I'm still going to make the same block here. That's still how I want to block. So they play the pummel, which means there's nothing following this up. This has Ward 3. So if I would have blocked with the Brothers in Arms and decided to take 1, I would have been able to play the sink below. Would have been so much better for me. So here is what we'll do. No. I guess we'll just go down to 2 Spectral Shields here. I don't really want to arsenal any of these cards, if I'm being honest. They all feel kind of like meh. Let's attack for 1. They probably won't block. We're going to pitch to flip this, to give this go again and add a counter to it. We'll put Ward Tube into play, and then we're not going to Arsenal the Brother in Arms because we want to be able to block with it. Well, this hand doesn't block with Brothers in Arms very well, but... let's block 7 and give up our arm piece here. Yeah. We'll pitch the Waning Vengeance. We'll block 7, give up our arm piece here. We'll attack for 2 and then Arsenal the Fate Foreseen. This seems like a pretty good line of play for us here. Test of Strength looking solid for them. We have an Astral Etchings and they now have a Buckling Blow in their hand. That is the one downfall for us, is that like all of our stuff clashes, which I think is a good design if I'm being honest. And I'm not just saying that as someone who likes to play Victor, but I think it's a good design. I think it's a clean design for what... So what? There's one pummel left that we haven't seen. There's one red pummel we haven't seen. So let's block 3. I'm going to play the Fate Foreseen. We'll put this one on the bottom. They don't have a pummel. They just had one of those hands where the best thing they could do was... just swing a blue at us, which is like a total W for us, I think. On target aura with ward you control. So we're going to attack for 2 for free. We're going to add 3 counters to this Spectral Shield so that we can have multiple Spectral Shields with Go again. I know that the Go Tall plan is like a very viable thing to do, and so we're going to try and make this one the Go Tall Spectral Shield. That way we can have Go again and we can actually attack for more this turn. And then we get to attack for 2 after this. Put our opponent down to 10. Arsenal the Sink Below. And we can use Tunic for Brothers in Arms. Want to make sure I don't miss my window here. I thought I'd already clicked on that, but I'm just trying not to do something dumb here. So let's see. This currently has us taking 3, which means we would lose this and the Spectral Shield. My opponent just conceded. They just realized that there was nothing they could do there. On turn 3, I was faced with a very interesting decision. My opponent throws Chokeslam at me, very clearly representing that they have a pummel with 2 floating and 2 cards in hand. I made the decision to give Standing Order, putting the Sink Below in the bottom of the deck, and another 3-block card to block 8. What I could have done was block with Standing Order, the 3-block card, and one of my blue auras to play around the pummel, but I also wouldn't have been able to use Tunic and Mage Master Boots to put both Shimmers of Silver and Haze Bending into play. So I think that ultimately the decision that I made of trying to keep my Haze Bending and Shimmers of Silver to use Tunic and Mage Master Boots to put them both into play was a good choice. I think my opponent's biggest mistake this game was the fact that they let Haze Bending and Shimmers of Silver sit on the board for close to 4 to 5 turns. Now on turn 7, my opponent finally threw a Zealous Belting at me and then threw the Miller's Grindstone at the Shimmers of Silver, but I think at this point I'd gotten quite a bit of value out of the Shimmers and the Haze Bending, so this decision to leave those on the board was pretty questionable. My opponent was running Out Muscle and they sideboarded them in this matchup, which I understand. If I had them in my Victor list, I would probably have done the same thing. The very first time they threw an Out Muscle at me, I had the Command and Conquer to stop it, which was very convenient for me. The second time they threw out Muscle at me, they knew I had the Command & Conquer because of the Test of Strength, where we had clashed and revealed the Command & Conquer. So I'm not really sure why they went for the second one there. That kind of seems like a small misstep on their part. On turn 9, I was faced with another interesting decision, again involving Standing Order. My opponent throws Zealous Belting at me for 5, and I give Standing Order, putting my Sink Below from my arsenal on the bottom of my deck to block 5 out exactly. My opponent threw the Pummel at me. Now, there's a good chance they're just going to throw Hammer at me after that, or they're going to throw a Chokeslam, so I want to keep my cards to be able to block efficiently, but if I had actually just given 2 cards on the Zealous Belting and then kept the Sink Below, I would have been able to play around the Pummel. So it's one of those things that I don't know that I'm ever going to change my decision there, but it's a good note to make. At the end of the game, you notice that my opponent just kind of concedes out of nowhere. I think that my opponent realized they were down 31-13 and that there might just not be a way to come back from this. They were about to get some of my ward off the board with the Pummel that they played there, but they had a long uphill to go before they were ever going to be in the driver's seat of that game. Guys, if you see anything you think I missed, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear about it. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.